My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
She's the dominating force, reshaping the landscape of college basketball.
It's been so much fun, but we're not done yet.
Caitlin Clark demonstrated remarkable kindness while waiting to be served in a restaurant. Noticing a pregnant woman standing nearby, she glanced around and saw that most of the other people waiting were men. Shocked by the lack of courtesy, Caitlin immediately got up and offered her seat to the woman.
Thank you. It's common courtesy, giving up your seat for a pregnant lady. Everybody knows that, right? Well, apparently not.
However, something deeply disturbing occurred that triggered an unexpected outburst of rage from Caitlin, leaving everyone present in shock. What could have caused such a strong reaction? What did she do next? Join us to find out the answer to all your questions about Caitlin Clark's act of chivalry. One afternoon in her hometown of Iowa, Caitlin decided to step out for a meal. While visiting her family, she wanted to take a moment to explore the city that helped shape her.
Yes, Millionaire Terminal, and I believe Iowa, and Caitlin Clark is touching down now.
Caitlin Clark's day started like any other. A simple trip to a local hot pot restaurant in her hometown of Iowa, where she was visiting family. Accompanied by her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, Caitlin was ready to enjoy a meal. The restaurant, recognizing her, offered the couple a table right away, despite the long wait. But Caitlin, ever humble, turned down their offer and chose to wait in line with the others. After some time, they were seated at a table, where Caitlin and Connor placed their order and settled in. As they waited, Caitlin chatted, laughed, and smiled. Fans approached her, asking for autographs and photos, and Caitlin was more than happy to oblige. Just as their food arrived, Caitlin noticed an elderly couple standing outside, clearly uncomfortable in the blazing sun. As she looked around, she saw several men who had finished eating, yet were still sitting back at their tables, chatting, and ignoring the line of people waiting. This sight disturbed Caitlin, especially seeing the elderly couple left to suffer in the heat. Without hesitation, she stood up and walked over to one of the tables occupied by men who were done eating. She reminded them that others were waiting, but they shrugged her off. Not wanting to escalate the situation, Caitlin decided to act differently. She went to the elderly couple, invited them inside, and offered them her seat. The couple was deeply appreciative, and Caitlin smiled, happy to help. But then something shocking happened. As Caitlin was walking the woman to her seat, a man at another table muttered, "If you keep giving away your seat, you'll never eat." The comment hit Caitlin hard. Her usual calm demeanor quickly shifted, and her anger flared. She turned to the men and sternly told them that they were the most ungentlemanly group she had ever encountered. When they dismissed her words, Caitlin took a stand. She asked the restaurant manager to step in. The manager, initially unaware of Caitlin's identity, listened as she recounted the situation. He approached the men and demanded they leave, warning that security would be called if they didn't comply. The men continued to ignore the request, but the situation escalated quickly. The manager called in security, and it became clear the men had underestimated Caitlin's resolve. After some tense moments, the men left, leaving several tables open for new patrons. Caitlin's actions were a display of leadership and chivalry, much like her approach to basketball. It wasn't just about taking charge on the court. She was taking a stand for what was right, even when it wasn't easy. Now, Caitlin Clark is making headlines, not just for her impressive basketball skills, but for her character. Named the 2024 Rookie of the Year, Caitlin's rise to stardom has been nothing short of extraordinary. Born and raised in West Des Moines, Iowa, Caitlin grew up in a family that valued sports. Her parents, Brent and Anne, were both athletes, and they supported Caitlin's passion for basketball from the start. Caitlin's competitive spirit was evident early on. She wasn't just talented, she was driven, practicing tirelessly and constantly challenging herself to improve. She played on the boys' team when she was younger, simply because there weren't enough girls to form a team. Her coaches and teammates immediately noticed her determination and fire, and it didn't take long for Caitlin to stand out. Her time at Dowling Catholic High School only amplified her skills as she led her team to multiple victories and set records. Her playing style was fearless, and her ability to make daring shots and creative passes set her apart. But even as she achieved success, Caitlin never lost sight of her ultimate goal, playing at the highest level in college basketball. When she decided to attend the University of Iowa, it was a pivotal moment in her career. Staying close to home allowed her to build something truly special at Iowa, where she exploded onto the college basketball scene. Her shooting range became legendary, but it wasn't just her scoring ability that made Caitlin a standout. It was her vision, leadership, and playmaking that made her a true force on the court. Her rise to national prominence brought attention not only for her skills, but for the way she played, dynamic, confident, and full of flair. And Caitlin's name became synonymous with excellence in women's basketball. Yet, with all her success, Caitlin has faced a darker side of fame, criticism and hate rooted in biases, both on and off the court. From a young age, Caitlin dealt with bullying, sometimes for her confidence, sometimes for her intensity. As she gained more recognition, the negativity grew. Racist remarks, dismissive comments about her place in the game, and unfair judgments based on stereotypes were just some of the challenges Caitlin faced. But through it all, she remained steadfast, letting her skills speak for themselves. Caitlin's story is one of resilience, not only in the face of competition, but in the face of adversity. She plays with the same fire that drives her off the court, and her leadership, whether in a restaurant or on the basketball floor, is a testament to her character. Caitlin Clark is more than just a basketball player. She's a force of nature, leading by example and inspiring others to stand up for what's right, no matter the situation. Caitlin Clark's recent omission from Team USA's Olympic roster has left fans and analysts in shock. After an incredible career filled with record-breaking performances and consistent excellence on the basketball court, many assumed she would be a shoo-in for the prestigious team. Yet, despite being one of the most talented and accomplished players in college basketball, Caitlin was left out of the running for the 2024 Olympic Games. This decision sparked frustration, confusion, and widespread speculation from her supporters, many of whom questioned how a player of Caitlin's caliber could be overlooked. For Caitlin, this exclusion undoubtedly felt like a personal blow. Despite leading her college team to remarkable success, breaking records, and cementing her place as one of the best players in the world, she found herself questioning the politics that sometimes permeate sports selections. Fans couldn't understand how someone so deserving of this honor could be passed over,